Hi, I'm Tim Kane, the entertainment editor at the Herald and Review, and I'm at my desk. I wanted to talk a little bit about the WSOY Community Food Drive that took place last week. And first of all, just tip the hat to you guys. It worked. It was pretty amazing. I was fortunate enough to be a part of it again this year. I was out there for probably 7-8 hours of the 12 hours total, and it was really inspiring to see truck after truck pull up and have food pouring out of it. It was really inspiring to see people drive through and hand over checks. It was really inspiring to see leaders of the community and leaders of the world, for that matter, including ADM's CEO, come up and hand over checks with a lot of zeros in them. We ended up raising, as a community, 600,000 pounds. 600,000 pounds. You know, the Howard G. Buffett Foundation gave a matching grant of $100,000 to this event, but in order to get that money, $100,000 from Decatur residents needed to be donated. Well, we got all of that money and then some, which is just astonishing. Even if you take that grant out, which no, we're not going to do, because that's really pretty good, it was still 500,000 pounds of food was raised at this thing, and that's astonishing. Now, it went off really well. If you were out there, things were flawless, things were seamless. It hasn't always been that way. There have been times when things have been balky for whatever reason. You know, this is the first year we've had decent weather for the thing. I mean, the weather out there was fantastic. People were running around in short sleeves and stuff, and that was really astonishing. Each year, the way things have been handled at that airport Kroger, and the way things have been handled on air, and the ways things have been worked throughout the community have improved. And there's a handful of people that I'd like to note who are responsible for a lot of that. I'm not saying this accounts for everybody doing the work. I just know these people, talk to them throughout the year. I see the work that they're doing. I'm friendly with them, and these are things that come up. So I know that these people are doing a lot of work. If there are other people, they can tell you, they can tell me, I'll tell you, however it works. We'll start with Kevin Brahaney and Brian Byers, who has spearheaded the thing for the 9 years that it's been going on. They don't just go out and turn on the microphones at 6 o'clock on a Friday and talk for 12 hours, and then magically 600,000 pounds of food appears. They are working behind the scenes for weeks, months ahead of time, encouraging, cajoling, pleading, begging, working, doing whatever it is that they need to do to get checks with a lot of zeros on them, to get the cooperation of people like the Herald and Review and WAND and the other sponsors of the event. And they're even doing that while the event's going on, which is why sometimes you'll hear me on the air, because they need to get spelled, they need to rest their voices a little bit, and they need to work the phones. Come on, help us out, help us out. I see a lot of that. A couple of people for WSOY who work really hard to keep the thing logistically working well out there. And this year was an incredible amount of fun, as much fun as I've ever had out there. And I know it's going to improve. That's the beauty of it, because these people take notes and they think and talk about things, and they make it better the next year. Debbie Bogle and Jeff Daly were doing a lot of the groundwork, and they continued to do it while they were out there. Rarely saw the two of them sitting down or resting. Every once in a while you just kind of see them step back a little bit and exhale, but they were working a lot the entire time. Amber Van Meter and Lindsay Romano, both also out there for all 12 hours. Again, on the air, taking photos, doing whatever work needed to be done. And they aren't the only ones. There were volunteers out there maneuvering traffic through that really kind of strange lot. If you don't have guys waving and pointing people in specific directions, you're looking at an accident waiting to happen. And I'm aware of at least one guy who was out there for 12 hours directing traffic. I never saw him take a break. I never saw him go get a cookie. I never saw him sit down. The only thing I did see was every once in a while he just kind of leaned on the stage, and I think that was more because he wanted to hear what we were saying and he couldn't otherwise. Really amazing stuff. But the thing that made this work the most was you. I mean, whatever you did, big or small, to make this thing a success, I tip my hat to you. I hope we can do it again next year. I hope we don't have to do it again next year, but if we do, I hope it can be a portion as successful as this one was. I've lived here for 22 years and I remain stunned at the generosity of this community. I hope that we never ever take that for granted. I hope we never ever get to the point where we just expect that that's going to happen, because it's a lot of work. But I also hope that we never get to the point where we're not proud of the things that we can do. Hats off, gang. I'm Tim Kane. I'm at my desk.